Take one of the greatest action stars of all time. Make a movie where he plays twins. If that's not enough for you, what if you have it be directed by two of the finest directors in Hong Kong cinema at the time, and have it filled with references and in-jokes about the 80s and 90s Hong Kong film industry? Directed by the power duo of Tsui Hark, director of Once Upon a Time in China, and producer of films like A Chinese Ghost Story and The Killer, and Ringo Lam, director of City on Fire and Full Contact, among many others. Twin Dragons is a tale about twins separated at birth who have now grown up to become two very different people. Ma Yao, played by Jackie Chan, got to grow up as the musically gifted son of rich parents in America, while Bowman, also played by Jackie Chan, grew up in the mean streets of Hong Kong, having to fend for himself much of his life and grew up to be a mechanic/driver/martial arts master. When Ma Yao has a concert in Hong Kong, and Bogman gets into deep trouble with a crime boss, worlds collide in hilarious and action-packed ways, leading to cases of accidental identity swapping with crime bosses, their friends, and their would-be love interests played by Maggie Cheung and Nina Li Chi, and the weird discovery of a special connection they have. On the surface, this film may or may not bear similarities with another action movie about twins starring a certain Muscles from Brussels made around the same time. But it takes the idea of action star plays twins separate at birth and does something really unique and fun with it, and that's the secret to Twin Dragon's success. I'm not sure why, but in the 90s and early 2000s, there was this trend going on with action movies involving premises where the main actor, or actors, played multiple characters by way of twins, clones, time travel, alternate personalities, etc. Jean-Claude Van Damme did this 4 times, twins in the aforementioned Double Impact and Maximum Risk, clones in Replicant, and Time Travel and Time Cop. Arnold Schwarzenegger did this twice, alternate personalities in Total Recall, and clones in The Sixth Day. Jet Li played alternate versions of himself in The One. Face Off had Nicolas Cage and John Travolta playing characters who swapped faces and therefore had to play different personalities. And if you want to count it, Godzilla faced a mechanical and space doppelganger in 1993 and 94. This brings us to 1992's Twin Dragons, an action comedy that, unlike many Jackie Chan movies, has a larger distinction between the action and comedy scenes. Most of the martial arts in this film is played straightforward, as opposed to the Chan style of mixing location and sight comedy with the fighting. That is until the very end fight of the film. They're still very good though. The comedy scenes deal mostly with the gag that people keep confusing Ma Yao and Bulkman, and honestly I enjoyed all of these parts and even laughed several times at the jokes they played off of it. I get that many probably think they played out this gag far too long, and even I'll admit it gets there during one of those scenes, but I just found it so funny and creative with where they took it. Jackie Chan has to play double duty here. He plays two characters with very different personalities and mannerisms, and he plays it off very effectively. From Ma Yao's rather passive and often scared demeanor to Bookman's brash and rough attitude, the twins are very distinct, and Chan does a great job with it. One very unique quality about this film is the fact that while Bookman knows martial arts, Ma Yao doesn't. At all. And Chan has to play a character who can't fight, which doesn't sound hard, but due to the connection the twins have, wherein the actions of one can affect the other. Now at the end, Chan has to play a character who can't fight, but is telepathically connected to someone who can, so he has to perform martial arts while at the same time looking like he doesn't know what he's doing. Maybe I'm just blowing this out of proportion, but that's honestly kind of funny and impressive. This is probably one of the only fight scenes in history where it is good because one of the characters is supposed to look like he doesn't know what he's doing, yet still has to perform the moves accurately. Twin Dragons was the result of an initiative by the Hong Kong Directors Guild to gain finances. So you have a cast filled with directors and producers making major and cameo appearances in various roles. Among the best cameos and in-jokes include Kirk Wong, known for directing crime and action films as a crime boss named Crazy Kyung, John Woo, the legendary action director known for his use of Christian imagery like crosses and doves playing a priest, the film's directors Ringo Lam and Tsui Hark, along with its producer Ning Si Yun, playing mechanics who are actively trying to cheat each other. And the legendary and venerable Lau Kar Lung playing a skilled doctor, who gets interrupted by an eccentric and loud physician using weird energy powers, played by none other than Hong Kong's exploitation king Wang Jing. Funny how Chan would work with both these directors on different projects, Jing for City Hunter and Lung for Drunken Master 2, and both times he would clash with the film's respective directors. Lau Kar Lung would ultimately leave Drunken Master 2 after allegedly disagreeing with Chan on how the final fight would be filmed, and later directed his own Drunken Master film. As for Wang Jing, after Chan criticized the style and humor of City Hunter's movie, Jing responded in a highly professional manner. That is, by making a film called High Risk and having a caricature of Jackie Chan played by Jackie Chung shown to be a boozing womanizer who is a fraud that doesn't do his own stunts. Naturally, Jackie wasn't too keen on this. Also, and this probably wasn't intentional, I'm sure, but Nina Lichi's character Tong Sum has an infatuation with fighters and martial artists, and as a result she falls for Bok Min, the twin who's a fighter. In real life, Nina Lichi would end up marrying actor and legendary martial artist Jet Li, in a weird case of life imitating art. With any film handled by two directors, one has to wonder who did what and at what time. According to Hark, Lam handled all of the action scenes, and honestly, all the big set pieces involving gunfire and vehicles really feel like Ringo Lam directed scenes. I do trust that he's telling the truth, though personally I feel that Hark might have had a big hand with those martial arts scenes, since at the time he had more experience with those types of movies, and it even makes use of the same air snap / impact sound effect that was used in Once Upon a Time in China. One last point, if you're gonna watch this film, avoid the 1999 recut by Miramax. It cuts out many scenes, including several of Maggie Cheung's character, despite her being among the main characters of the film, has a very bland score, and dubbing that's even bad by my rather lenient standards. It's not as bad as, say, the dub track for Gorgeous's audio, but it's not good at all. The newest score comes across as bland and hurts the film several times by altering the way scenes are supposed to be felt and how they were intended. Stick to the original cut if you can find it. It's currently on YouTube as of recording because I guess no one really cares anymore. There is also an English dub that keeps the original soundtrack that was for the European market in the 90s, pre-Miramax, but it's pretty hard to find now. Speaking of the soundtrack, am I the only one who gets James Bond theme kind of vibes from the piece that plays during the boat chase and the fight leading up to the Mitsubishi plant? Twin Dragons is in my opinion a pretty underrated Jackie Chan film that succeeds thanks to how it plays with its bizarre yet hilarious premise. I've seen some say it plays its gag too much, which honestly I only felt once with the first part of the fight in the auto plant, which of course is a Mitsubishi plant because Jackie Chan. But the rest of the scenes in this set piece don't suffer from that. One of his very best for me.
咁點算？是但啦，求其搲翻個啦！哇咁啊！